Well, if today's big day couldn't get bigger, it's going to with the next announcement, for which I'm so pleased to be part of. My first day in Rotary was in December of 1981, and the presiding president of that day was no less than Louis Stumberg. And from that day on, I was very impressed with the organization. That I had transferred from a smaller club in the west side of San Antonio and had one friend in this club, and that was my father, who said, "You're going to join this club, okay?" So I joined the club, and I now knew Louis Stumberg. Well, before I read, for those of you who do not know or recall the impact of Louis Stumberg, not only on this club, and not only in this city, but really into the American lexicon, which I'm going to familiarize yourself with, all of you with. We have a remarkable president and member here, and his widow is here with us today, and I want you to all rise and thank her for coming, because she just recently fell, broke a couple of ribs, but that doesn't stop Mary Pat Stumberg. No, baby, she's here. So let's rise and just thank Mary Pat for being here. Mary Pat would often come with Louis to meetings and in fact sit over here at that table, and Louis would be the first person to ask the most cogent, probing question of the speaker. And all of us who were here at the time know exactly of which I speak. And we're looking for someone to replace him. I don't know if we've got one, but I hope we do. I want this now to be directed. First, let's change to that. I want this to now be directed to those of us, or those of you who do not know who Louis was. What you're looking at, by the way, is the new entry to the Dawson Family Hall. And it's going to be dedicated to memorialize and honor the Stumberg family, and specifically Louis Stumberg. So when you go through that gate that's there, I want you to talk to your guest, your wife, your husband, or maybe if you're looking for a boost of self-confidence, just look and remember the name of Louis Stumberg, who was born in 1924 and died in 2011. Louis joined this club in 1950 and presided as its club president from 81 to 82. He continued his participation in the club until his death in 2011, as I said. He was a regular and faithful attender of weekly meetings, despite also being chairman of the family's creation, Patio Foods. Even more, he was a generous donor to countless service projects sponsored by the club, including its hosting of the 92nd International Rotary Convention in 2001. The Stumberg family immigrated from Germany to the United States in 1846. And for those of us non-Texans, just a remembrance, Texas became Texas in 1845. So they were here at the beginning, 1 year into it. 100 years later, in 1946, Henry and his brother Ed decided that more prosperity could accrue to the family beyond operating a general store near the Alamo. So after failing in a frozen vegetable venture, the threesome settled on a clever notion to sell Tex-Mex food to returning GIs, home from World War II, and having been previously stationed at perhaps one of the 5 military bases in San Antonio. The Tex-Mex food was packaged as frozen dinners and sold under the name of Patio Foods, and the concept was peddled to grocery stores initially, this is a great story, initially by reheating the frozen dinners on the salesman's hot car engine. That is an invention Mary Pat will, I hope, address today. She's got even a better story. The gate story, I hope. Okay, we're going to get to that. The great idea caught on nationally, no surprise. The dinners contained burritos, enchiladas, tacos, chili, refried beans, and rice. The popularity of the menu caught on so well that the company sold to R.J. Reynolds. Lewis became chairman of RJR Foods in 1967, and he retired in '86, having added to the American lexicon the TV dinner. Now that's quite an accomplishment. His son, Herb, is quoted in a New York Times obituary as saying, "My father, up until the day he went to the hospital, would eat Mexican food every Monday. An enchilada plate with refried beans." Is that great or what? So, once again, please welcome Mary Pat. Turn on the mic, if you would, for her. She's going to relate a story for all of us now. And thank you very much, Mary Pat.
Thank you. You do not realize the importance of a gate with Stumberg. Stumberg hated to open gates on the ranches, and he had a lot of gates in and out. So if you were invited to go with Lewis and he told you the best seat in the house was the passenger side, beware. That meant that you had to get the gates. And any of you all that were with Lewis always got the idiot seat. So there are some other stories in the family, and you can talk to my brother Jim. He's got a doozy, which I couldn't remember exactly in the right directions, but for your enlightenment. But I know that Joe opened gates a lot for Lewis. So this is very important. He doesn't have to open gates anymore. Nobody has to open gates to come here anymore.
Let me just close by saying that each of you will get a little letter from me this week in your email box. Please read it. Also, we're wearing guayaberas today and string ties because this was the standard fare of Lewis. And next time we talk, and I talk to you about what we're planning for the gate, etc., please wear your guayabera and let's remember Lewis. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Jim. Just one last time, a collective thank you to the Stumberg family and also the Dawson family for their significant gifts.